Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue to look at boxy characters this week. Now, we started with mouse, which is just a rectangle or square, close enough to a square. Now we add two strokes in the middle. And if you know Chinese a little bit, we know that two strokes represent human or simply man. Okay. A man in a box means prison. 囚 is how it sounds. And this is super self-explanatory. If an alien visits us and know that's human inside a box, probably just, they can deduce. Well, actually, I couldn't say that because humans put some humans in a box. I cannot assume alien has the same culture or social behavior, actually. So, okay, anyhow, I take it back. But as humans from another language, let's say, English speakers, if you look at human inside a box, I mean, there is one possibility there, right? Well, other possibilities could be this human intentionally want to stay inside a box because that person's meditating. Chinese do have such a expression of like a monk facing the wall and just sink into its own sensory, kind of shut out of the world, the interruptions, the distractions, and just be with oneself, facing nothing but a blank wall. And that's one possibility, but I guess majority of the population, when we're boxed up, it most likely means that. So now we look at traditional, exactly the same, 2,000 years ago. It gets kind of a reversed image than that, isn't it? Because it looks like an English R, and the right side stroke is more curvious and it's longer. The right side, it may be a flipped imagery. The right side is on top of the edge of the left side and kind of a curve here, kind of like that. So this human figure took me some time to figure out. I thought at the beginning, when we look at a human figure like this, it's just two legs standing being. Biped. We're the only biped here on this planet Earth, right? Birds are bipeds, but they hop, they don't walk. How about, we're the only primates that are biped. Okay. Then why this becomes asymmetrical? Turn out Chinese is a leftward facing or oriented culture. Its profile human front and back view of human. So instead of a full frontal view with two legs standing, like kind of we guessed from this imagery, the real thing back then was a depicting human facing toward the left, ready to go, because that's where we're oriented by default. Then the left side is the front side of the body, and the back side kind of depict the curvature from our spine. The whole back chain of the body is more curvious than the front side. We were biologically, our anatomy simply is that. And that's how we differentiate from front to the back when we look at it. But then now, why the contemporary Chinese got streamlined? We get rid of the curves, and then it got reversed as well. Instead of the right stroke longer and on top of the left, now it's reversed. So it's almost like humans facing the other way. My guessing is at some point the imagery got flipped for the ease of writing, because we put the first stroke left, it will be easier to kind of decide where the second stroke here goes. And just by the digitized version of the Chinese, even if this is not handwritten, it's kind of trying to mimic what a handwritten kai shu would look like. That you can see here is a darker, thicker. Well, not darker. Everything is the same darkness, but this is a thicker. So that means that's where our brush drop. That's the starting point, and then kind of a taper off. So here, just by the look of it, we know we start from the top right, going to left bottom direction. So that's the first stroke. And once we have that decided, we go kind of a little bit above the midpoint of this and then do the second stroke. My guess is this probably is easier to write, but we also have total reverse one, which is the right side is longer and then the midpoint, that means enter. Okay, so now I'm real time revising my theory, probably because enter is doing this way. So we have to differentiate human from enter. So somehow collectively, or maybe even collectively, actually, now thinking about it, there could be many, many pivotal little historical moments that one person decide this is the way to write Chinese in Kai Shu, and then from then on, everybody else followed the standard. It got standardized, and then there's only one way to correctly write the human figure. We don't know. I haven't done research long enough to find out all the pivotal moments that just singular person. And there could be many, many pivotal moments, right? Somebody can decide on how to write this thing, and then only one thing survive, one version somehow, and all that dynamic. It's kind of a social versus individual dynamic. It's hard to tell. It's too complicated to unpack that way. In any case, this is a human inside a box, and we have three expressions, the short ones. Because, okay, here I put it prison, 囚, but in fact, this is a multi-dimensional thing. It can mean multiple things. When we pair with 囚犯, this 犯 means somebody who is who offends. So somebody who committed a crime. So 囚犯 means prisoned criminal or prisoned wrongdoer, and that is prisoner. When we have 囚禁, 禁 means forbidden, like forced, enforced on this prison. So that's 囚禁, that's imprison. So 囚犯 is the person, and 囚禁 is the action of putting somebody in prison, right? And in English, we have imprison to take the action side of the concept of putting a person in a box. Now, 囚笼, 笼 is a bird cage, or simply animal cage too, like a beast cage could also do. 笼 simply is this bar that's kind of you can still see and hear, but that person cannot get out of there. So that's 笼. 囚笼 simply means prison. So now, prison as the place. We have 囚犯 as the person, 囚禁 as the action, and 囚笼 as the location. Three-dimensional things about this prison thing. And that's the beauty of Chinese. We don't need to, well, I guess in that sense, English is kind of doing the same, actually, now think about it. Here is a prisoner, just add ER to it, right? And 囚禁, in prison, we just I am in front of it. And then 囚笼, just prison itself, the place. So in that sense, English probably is even more succinct. Versus Chinese, we have this 囚, this vague concept there. Something about human in a box, but are you talking about a person, the place, or the act of putting that person in a box? All that is determined by pairing it with a second Chinese character. So, okay, in that sense, English do have its simplicity and beauty in there, and Chinese have this flexibility of using the same concept and have a kind of a close concept to that, and we use these two dots to kind of draw out a particular direction, a line, right? We use this two character system to draw the direction. Actually, in language, we pin down the exact meaning of it. I used to do this lock system that each Chinese character is like a spoke of meanings. And then this other word also spoke of meanings. And each meaning is like one direction. It's hard to determine just by one character. When you put two characters next to each other, they have this close meaning, either this, or however you want to pair it. They have kind of a pointing toward a similar direction, and then you lock them in to that particular concept. So here we go, a person in a box. Thank you for your time. See you another time.